Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. A few weeks ago I did a favorites video where I talked about all of my favorites for the month of January, and something that I mentioned was my weighted blanket. Now if you're not familiar with what a weighted blanket is, it is basically a blanket that is very, very heavy. And I know that sounds like a dumb explanation, but that's really all it is. Several years ago when Braden was not sleeping very well, and of course he was like a little over a year old, so it wasn't a huge deal, but he wasn't getting to sleep very easily. And someone had mentioned get him a weighted blanket. I'm like, okay, whatever. It kind of sounded silly. But do you ever find yourself being one of those people who is perfectly happy under multiple blankets? Not just because you're cold, but you just like having that weight on you. Or think about when you go to the dentist's office, which is not really a peaceful experience for most people. But when you do the x-rays and they lay that lead vest on you, do you feel maybe a little bit more comforted in that moment? Well, what happens is scientifically, you can look into this a little bit more, but basically what happens when that weight is on you, it releases serotonin. And that serotonin is that feel-good hormone where it makes you feel better. It makes you feel more relaxed. And that is huge. It's something that I never really thought about until recently, where I decided that just kind of how I've been feeling, especially since having kids, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's hormones. I don't know. But I get anxiety a lot. I've always been a bit of an anxious person, wound a little tight sometimes, but recently it's affected like my eating habits. It's affected my weight to a point. There have been times when it's really stressful and I have a hard time keeping weight on. Most people are stress eaters. I'm a stress starver. It's like I don't want to worry about food. So I just don't eat. And it's something I don't realize I'm doing. I'm just trying to go about my day and taking care of myself, and that's not part of it. I need to eat, okay? So all of that aside, I decided I was gonna make myself a weighted blanket because when I went online to Etsy, they were at least $100, a lot of times more. And I thought, I'm gonna make one for myself. If I like it, I'll make one for each of the boys and see what they think about it. And so in this video, what I'm gonna do, I'm not going to do a tutorial because I don't want to. Y'all know that I sew, and I looked at a bunch of different tutorials online, videos, blogs, Pinterest, and I thought I can make this myself, and I did. Honestly, it was not the most relaxing project I've ever done. I don't like quilting. I don't like working with the big things. I like clothes where I've got a pattern, I cut it out, I sew it together, and boom, I have something else. I have something new to wear. And so in this video, what I'm going to do is actually, I have a piece of paper over here, and I'm going to draw how I made my weighted blanket, and hopefully it is clear to you because you can do this. If you can sew in a straight line, you can do this. Now, the materials that you're going to need some sort of fabric. You're going to need, your sewing machine, needle, or the thread, the coordinating thread if you want. You're going to need pins. If you can, get some Wonder Clips. Those are amazing. They live up to their name. And the most important thing, you're going to need some sort of weighted pellets. And I got a box of 25 pounds of weighted beads for, I think it came to 43 something, and I was able to make myself a weighted blanket and a weighted blanket for both of the boys with those pellets. So I was really impressed that I was able to squeeze 3 blankets out of that one bag. Now it was literally, it was from Etsy. It was literally this trash bag filled with pellets and stuck in a box. There was no card, there was no nothing inside. It was just supplies. So, and if you're wondering how heavy you need to make it, the general rule is 10% of your body weight plus a pound or 2. So my body weight is about 116, 115, something like that. So I made mine 13 pounds. So basically 12 pounds rounding up, 11 and a half pounds. I just added. So Anyway, so mine's 13 pounds. Both of the boys are in the mid-30s. They weigh about the same, almost the same right now. And both of their blankets are 5 pounds and perfect. I actually used a twin sheet, a twin flannel sheet that I wasn't using. It was sitting up in the closet. And let me show you how I made mine. All right, I'm gonna try to do this. I'm left-handed. I've never done anything like this before, so bear with me. So basically what I did was I took my flannel sheet and I folded it in half, so it created, you know, not a perfect square, not a perfect rectangle, just kind of something like this. And so what I did was when I folded it over, I sewed these ends closed and left this end open. So this is the folded edge. And I just folded it over and sewed these closed and left this open at the top. Okay, let's go down or up just a tad here. Okay, so after that, what I did was I folded it over one time, folded it in half again, basically, and marked this with a pin. Then I folded it over again and again and again. So basically what I came up with was this open side, and I just marked this with pins here and here at the top and the bottom. Okay? So after I folded this over and over and over, what I was left with was like a long rectangle, okay, when this was folded on itself all those different times, folded in half on itself. Okay, so when I unfolded it, I had these pins up here. Actually, I used clips, I'm sorry. And these clips down here. And thankfully, my fabric was striped, so I could actually follow the lines. You could take an invisible ink or disappearing ink marker and draw a straight line all the way down your blanket, but I just went with the stripes. And then you just sew a straight line down here. And what you're doing is you're creating chambers, okay? And so what I did after that was I folded it over again this way. The same way that I folded this in half and in half again and in half again, I did it this way. So then I had clips here. Okay? So, but you don't want to sew these lines yet. Then what I did, I took the poly pellets after I had basically everything marked. This sewn, all these chambers sewn, and these just marked. I took all my pellets, and you got to use math for this. Sorry if you didn't think you were gonna have to use math, but you do. And I figured out how many pounds of pellets I needed, and I needed 13 pounds. So what I did is I realized I had 1, 2, 3, 4 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I had 20 chambers, if you will, that I needed to fill up. And so I split that up and figured, I think it was like 10 tablespoons. I can't remember exactly, but I put that amount. I would drop the amount of pellets that I needed to down this chamber and kind of shook it down so it all ended up here. Then I poured some more pellets down here, and again here, and here, and here, and made sure all of the pellets fell to the bottom. When I filled up all of these, I sewed a straight line this way. Okay, next round, put more pellets here, 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 and here, then sewed it closed, and repeat. Okay, for this top open end, I just folded it in kind of like a hem and sewed it. Actually, I put 2 rows of stitching up here just to keep everything where it was. And then I had my weighted blanket. What do y'all think? Does that make sense? Like I said, here, let me show you a little bit closer. If you can sew in a straight line, sorry guys, then you can do this project. Once you find that the pellets, 25 pounds of pellets costs, 40 something dollars, you start to realize why these cost so much on Etsy. I don't know if you can see that, if it's out of focus or not. So again, you have all these chambers that are open. You put the pellets in each chamber and then close it up. Then you put more pellets in each chamber, close it up, and so on. And then you should have an equal amount of pellets in each chamber. So that should get you your weighted blanket. Okay, so I hope this was helpful for you if you would like to try this for yourself. I used fleece for the boys. I had some Purdue fleece that I had and used that for Brayden. And Caleb, I used some Bubble Guppies fleece, and theirs is actually a lot softer than mine. And they both love using them in their beds. So that's really encouraging to me. Please be sure to give me a thumbs up if you like this video, and of course subscribe if you would like to see all of my videos that I have put out. I hope you're having a wonderful day, and leave a comment below if you have any questions, and I will try to answer them as best I can. Have a wonderful day. Bye.